Leaving your comfort zone. Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 5. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, and to a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curses thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. We come to understand that God spoke to Abram, directing him to leave Haran, leaving those that he had become acquainted with, to go to a place that God would show him. He also promised Abram that he would make him a great people. There would be generations to follow him, and that he would be blessed, popular, and that he would also be a blessing. God went on to promise Abram that he would take care of those that took care of him, but to them that harmed Abram, he would deal with them. And so as we read along, we find out that at the age of 75 years old, God called Abram to leave his comfort zone. And without hesitation, Abram obeyed God's directive to leave Canaan. He took his nephew, Lot, his brother's son, and his wife, Sarai, and those that followed him. Abram left a familiar place in which he was a part of its society. He left a culture and a social institution which consisted of people that did not know God. However, he departed without murmuring or complaining. He left people that he had gotten accustomed to, those that knew him well and understood him. However, although Abram was comfortable and no doubt had connections, he obeyed the voice of the Lord. He purposed in his heart to follow God's directive. Like Abram, God has given you a directive. He's given you a directive to depart from that place you are dwelling in, to serve him. But you are fearful and feel comfortable. You're uncertain of the outcome if you vacate and move on. You are fearful of changing your position. Maybe he's called you to separate yourself from certain people, to get rid of a particular thing. But you've gotten so complacent and so comfortable in what you are doing and who you are doing it with that you are contemplating the voice of God. And you're wondering, what should you do? Should you follow the voice of God, or should you stay where you are? Do you know that this is sheer disobedience and a sin? When God says, serve me, move, let go, walk before me, trust me, he's not telling you to do anything that he has not given you the strength to do or to perform. Don't you know that if he brings you to it, he will bring you through it? Do you know that? By faith, leaning solely and depending on him. You have to leave your comfort zone, because in that comfort zone, guess what? That's where the enemy resides. And his motive is to keep you from following God's directive, which in turn will cause you to miss out or lose your blessing, exposing you outside of the will of God, just like our brother Adam. Do you remember telling God, here I am, Lord, send me, I'll go? Do you remember committing your life and your ways to God? Unlike Abram, who in the beginning did not know God, you know God, but instead of you following him, you have made an irrevocable vow, and you have turned back from that vow. You have not followed the Lord at all. And Satan is sitting right there, and he's watching, he's listening, and he's waiting, because he knows the outcome if you don't get in line. The Bible says it is better for you not to make a vow than to make it and not keep it. But because you are afraid and feel as if all eyes are on you, or who knows, maybe you're just plain lazy, you have not left your comfort zone nor moved forward. You are still sitting in the same spot that Satan has set you in with the illusion of being comfortable. Yet you lack strength and stability in the things of God. And therefore, Satan has caused you to lose out on the promises of God, and not only for you and for your life, but for your future generations. because you possess weakness and fear. Do you know that you're not called to walk in fear? Do you know that you're not called to walk and be comfortable? Do you know that Jesus is our example? From the foundation of the world in the Garden of Eden, Satan's lot was to destroy him. And guess what? In doing so, he would have caused forfeiture of our reconciliation and salvation. We learn from further studying of Jesus that he left his comfort zone in glory to be beaten, to be spit on, to be tried all night long, to have a crown of thorns placed upon his head, pressed down upon his head, which in no doubt caused bleeding, as sweat poured into his wounds with burning sensations, as he hung dying on a cross for hours, for your sake and mine. And to top it all off, when he said he was thirsty, he was offered gall and vinegar to drink, hanging outside of his comfort zone, which was in glory. Yet he was determined to do what he told God that he would do, and that is to reconcile us back to the Lord. You see, God did not say your way would be easy, but he did promise to be with you until the end, and he gave you authority to move mountains. God cannot bless you in a place or mindset that you are presently in because you're in disobedience, and his goal is for you to have rest and have a fresh start, to wipe away the struggles and the settling for less than what he has ordained for you. But first, you have to be obedient and leave your comfort zone. Number one, you have to stop lying. Number two, you have to be mentally prepared. Prepare yourself mentally to vacate and lay aside those things that keep you from serving God. Number three, take steps to remove yourself from the presence from anyone or anything that may hinder your move. And number four, praise your way out, breaking down any barriers that may hinder your departure, such as fear, doubt, and shame. Fear is of the devil. You got to allow God to shut the doors as he move you forward with grace and mercy, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ.